onto.
Right. It is. It's so weird. The internet, like the universe, is so fickle in this way. Like I've done a podcast for 4 years. The website's been around that long also. I've done like independent games and stuff. And the most attention I've ever had on anything was just a couple of weeks ago when my personal Facebook got hacked. I wrote a tweet thread and a blog post about it because like I had all of their recommended security stuff set up and somebody took over my account anyway. And my VR headset, I couldn't use it anymore because that's the account that runs that device. So I had to have my Facebook account and they locked me out and I just said, oh, this sucks. I was just tweeting for a couple of my friends and, hey, watch out for this. And this is something to be aware of. 500,000 people saw the tweet thread.
And, oh, wow. Okay.
And the blog post is still going around and stuff. And you want to talk about that weird feeling like, what else do I have online? Now I'm the hacked guy. and that feels really weird too. It's like, it'd be like finding out somebody like went through your car while it was parked in the driveway, except now the entire world can't stop talking about it. And it's like, it's very invasive feeling and weird, but like you said, a couple of weeks later, everything turns into like, no, that was okay. That wasn't a huge deal. But it's another one of those things. There's no playbook. Nobody, you can't teach somebody how to think about it when something like this randomly happens. But I would.
That's it. Oh my God, yeah, that's I can understand why that went viral though. Because I've got to say, I have a Facebook account and I do, I have the whole two-factor authentication stuff set up, but I'm just, I'm always paranoid about stuff like that. I'm like, no, don't. No, I don't. Anything with two-factor authentication, I will set up. First thing I do is like set it up. I'm like, no one else can get into this. I need to make sure that my passwords are secure. I've got LastPass and everything like this. No, don't publicly say LastPass. No, but it's like, it's
beat that out for you.
Yeah, I hate the idea of like this thing of someone else kind of like getting control of these things, because this is the thing. Is like things like Facebook and things like that are almost becoming public services. They're almost like public identities and public identification. Things you have linked into, like your things that you've invested money into and time, and like you said with your VR headset, that's linked to your account. You spend money on that. That's your possession, but it's not, because it's actually it's almost like a lease you have that's associated with the account that suddenly is bannable, or things like this. And
it's a licensing agreement. They can cancel it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things which it's just it's like. It's easy to be like really flippant about this sort of thing, but well, I'm honored to be talking to the hacked guy.
Well, tell your friends, happy to do selfies. But it's these things that I think the core element of it is it's these things that strike a chord with people, like it hits close to home. Yeah. I have a local city council and I'm not sure what they're doing, or I'm on Facebook. I better look at this, and nobody's intentionally contributing to like, I want to make this viral. It's like, no, this is very personal to me and I want to interact with it. And, you can't plan it ahead of time, but some of these things sure do take off. And when they do, you have to be ready, and hopefully you put some truth out there. And in your case, I think you did. You went, hey, this, I found meaning in this. It's hilarious, first of all. But it's also something that we can all think about. Like earlier this year, I found out that the city I grew up in, they were having these same kind of meetings. There were these people who came in a room, couldn't sit across the table from each other. They're ranting and raving at each other. People are storming out. They were in person. And it's like, how much of this is going on and what's happening to my tax money? And, it's like, I'm happy to chip in my share to keep the city, nice and the roads drivable and everything. But like, how are these people getting along well enough to apply it?
Yeah, it's a really interesting point, and that's the thing as well, is that I have no idea how this should work, or what it's supposed to be. But it is good to kind of draw attention to the fact that it's like, I wasn't so conscious of this, but like, even after this, I had so many people sending me different videos saying like, you should do one of this, this is I found this, and the few of them, I started doing it, but then at one point kind of like went, whoa, if I do some more of this, I genuinely do become the council meeting editing guy.
You're that guy.
But yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I started watching some of these and I was kind of like, okay, this is like a microcosm of like all of the combination of like old people trying to deal with Zoom and technology and things like this, and the inefficiencies of local council. But it's not like unique in any sort of regard.
Yeah.
It just happens to be one that like almost feels scripted because it's, you know, it's just so intense. But as far as these sorts of things happen, this is pretty regular and pretty common in so many instances. And, you know, I got to stop watching these things.
Just got to move on. Yeah.
Yeah.